Hello, everybody. It is March 7th, and right now we're going to take a quick look at Ethereum, see what the price action is telling us. We had a nice 2 day streak now, which we haven't really had in a while here, but we went all the way from the 1,530 all the way to the 1,724, a nice 13% upward movement, and along the way we broke a key resistance region here at the 1,650, which I think was the main reason why a bunch of buyers were attracted to the price action, and I think just catalyzed that movement upwards. So we're gonna maybe discuss the most probable scenario, the best or worst case scenario that can play out, and see where it goes. I know a lot of people hate technical analysis, and not the way to go, all these things, but which I agree with you. Obviously, the fundamentals drive everything. At the end of the day, it's a project, regardless of whatever the price is telling you. But I think fundamentals gives you the fuel for the train, for the upward or downward movement, and technical analysis just gives you the visibility, right? Tells you where we're going to stop, where we're going to have a bit of a slower time, where's the next discount going to be at, right? A lot of people want to invest in this, but I'm pretty sure no one prefers to buy all the way up here and the price just literally drops 34% right away, right? So there's a lot of people that also would like to understand the timing. We are all bullish on Ethereum. We like the project, but this is just telling you the story as we go up, right? So plus it's fun, guys. It's fun. It's a lot of things to learn. So right now we had that nice 15% upward movement. We saw that the buyers were incomplete. I would say they dominated the last 2 days. I'm not seeing wicks to the bottom or the upside that much. The opening and the close of each of the daily candles was actually pretty far away from each other, and not a lot of wicks, just indicating for me that there wasn't that major resistance from those sellers, or them trying to drive the price down and the buyers coming in and all that. So nice 2 day streak, I would say here, which is a pretty good scenario that's playing out for us right now. So the 1,650 was a key resistance level, broke it. We tried to break above it, but on the daily we didn't fully. Then the next day, it looks like we tried to retest it and pushed back up. So I'll just zoom in here later on the 4 hours just to show you how that played out. And the biggest thing I would say here, maybe that we can take from this from a technical point of view, is this candle over here, right? I'm just gonna move this line a bit. This hammer candle at the 55 EMA. Usually, whenever you get I was gonna say a nice downtrend. There's nothing nice about it, but as soon as you get a downward movement, it's like a nice spike to the bottom. You're getting, and as soon as you start getting a hammer candle like this, telling you that sellers tried to drive the price all the way down to the 1,295. Buyers came in, actually closed it above. So it's telling you that buyers were lurking the whole time. Even on this candle over here, same thing. While we're downtrending this whole way and just massive selling pressure, buyers were still driving the price upwards almost halfway through on every day, right? So this is just telling me a story that buyers are just sitting on the side waiting for a dip, waiting to buy this as a discount. And as soon as I see this here, usually the price starts to narrow down a bit, shows you indecisiveness. Probably even if you go over here, volume start to kind of stagnate over here, telling you there's less and less interest in downward movement. And couple that with the fact that you're sitting literally right on top of the 55 EMA with a nice wick, a hammer candle. Obviously, I prefer this to be green. I prefer the buyers to come in here and push it past the opening price, but obviously this was a very massive dump on the market, and this is still good to see. So the same thing over here, we saw that the stochastic RSI was all the way in the bottom. And usually when the stochastic RSI is all the way in the bottom, it's basically telling us that sometime soon here our RSI has to have some sort of a movement upwards. And a lot of buyers and a lot of traders in general use this as it's more of a sensitive indicator, telling you where the next stop should be, or where if you're going to have some sort of a support or resistance happening. So usually here, I'll explain also why we have all these blue lines over here in a second here, but that's mainly it for the daily chart. If we go to the 4 hour, just to zoom in on the price action, see what happened there. Overall, this was the resistance we were looking at over here, the 1,650. Obviously, when we went all the way down here, went back up, then again went all the way back down. topped it off at the 1650, met the same resistance that we had here, went back in again, had a bit of a higher low, and pushed back up. And as soon as we got to it, we kind of pierced through it here a couple of times, went up, retested it, came back to retest, and now we're moving upwards. So there's a couple of resistances here, and I think that we will face a lot of resistance as we move upwards. So that's just something to keep in mind along the way here. So on the 4 hour, we saw that this resistance got broken. It looks like that we're fully above all of our EMAs, which is a very good sign for the longest time here. As soon as we dropped, we were just being pulled down across ever since February 23rd, basically. Just trying to push up and then get driven down, push up, get driven down. Not until over here you see it starts to get very noisy when you're trying to get past those EMAs, and you can see the rejection happening along the way. But the fact that we had that higher low and we kept on pushing was actually pretty good. So this is where we're sitting at right now, 1,735, and the price kind of has been here for a minute, I would say. It's been 2 hours and we're not really moving much. So I think there should be some sort of a leg down back again to the 1,700, which I'll give you the reason why. Overall, I think right now Ethereum likes to break resistance, come back to retest, and then push up. And I think the 1,700 is actually significant resistance right now. This literally exactly over here. After we had the correction, we tried to move up a bit. We topped it off at the 1,700. And I think now we're trying to do the same thing here. Retest, push up. We're finding some sort of resistance right now. We still have 2 more hours for the 4 hour candle to actually close. So we need to see what's going to happen in the next hour. But I think we should be pushing here sometime soon to come back here again, then push back up. We need to validate the fact that the 1,700 is actually a support now, because it's been a resistance. We need to test it to see if it's a support or not. We don't just blow through a resistance line without coming back to retest this. Most likely then no. You will always test and retest a resistance. That just gives comfort for the buyer to come in, and that's what happens. The buyers need to see a retest before you pump, right? Which you see it right here. You go up, and then boom, you can tell that the buyers were just waiting for a retest, right? They see a bit of wick here, and right away we go up. So that's what's happening right now. I think overall here, if I maybe zoom out a bit just to show why. Overall, a nice combination for me that I usually look for is MACD being all the way in the bottom, coupled with RSI being in the oversold region, coupled with the stochastic RSI being all the way in the bottom. That usually, to me, I like seeing that before. I like to see this to verify whether this will go up or not, because I think these are the most prominent indicators that the buyers or sellers or traders, swing traders and day traders use to actually time when they would like to enter this. So right now, even here, if we're saying stochastic all the way in the bottom, RSI is all the way in the bottom, and MACD is all the way in the bottom here, we had a bit of a crossover and then boom, we shoot up. Same thing I would say over here, for example. After a massive downtrend, as soon as you start seeing your stochastic RSI all the way in the bottom, coupled with the MACDs all the way in the bottom, you should be looking at an uptrend soon. Even on a shorter time frame, but it just gives you a nice timing to whatever should be happening. Overall, same thing over here. Stochastic RSI all the way in the bottom, MACDs all the way in the bottom, RSI is all the way in the bottom. You have a nice movement upwards. Same thing over on this side, right? So just something to keep in mind here. And that's the opposite is also true. So whenever we have the MACDs all the way up top, coupled with the stochastic RSIs all the way up top, and a bit of topping off on the RSI, we see a movement downwards. And I think that's where we're sitting at right now. MACDs on the top side here. Stochastic is all the way in the top side, overbought region. Stochastic is in the overbought region. The RSI is in the overbought region as well. So explains to me why I'm seeing some sort of resistance right now. Because we're all anticipating a retest. So we need to come back to retest the 1,700. We need to validate that. We need to validate the fact that it is a support now. And, don't just take it as a line only. I would just make a nice zone over here for us to fall into. So I give it a bit of leeway because obviously it's extremely volatile. But I would say that we want to go back here and find support. We need to find that support. Indicators are telling us the same thing. And after that, once we prove the 1,700 is a support, then we will move back up to the 1,815 would be our next target. That's where we should be aiming at soon. I think here, obviously, I'm just there's nothing crazy about it. It's just the fact that you just pick where the next stop is at, and you kind of go with it to see where until we actually reach these all-time highs. So obviously, first one is this. First one was this one over here, 1,650. After that, it was this guy over here, 1,700. Looks like the next stop will be the 1,800. And right after that, 1,880. And then I know all you guys are looking at the same here, 2,050 region, but we're gonna take it one step at a time here. We're just gonna take a look at this daily. So retest of the 1,700, go back down, pull back up, go to the 1,800. And I think along the way, it's not just going to be a boom, boom, right? It's going to be more of a, maybe we'll see some sort of higher lows as we move, right? We maybe need to see, because it looks like Ethereum likes to do those ascending triangles a lot, right? We are stuck in a range overall, this and this, but we start to have this over here. See this triangle? Same ceiling, consistent ceiling. Sellers coming in at the same consistent rate, but buyers are coming in more aggressively. Buyers are not waiting for it to come down a lot. Buyers are coming in at a more higher rate as we move, buying that dip, and then we get squeezed here, then we move upwards. And you see that happening all across the price action. Literally, if you go back and try to look at the it could be a nice exercise for you just to find those. So yeah, this is what I think could happen. I think the next scenario that could happen is actually us falling all the way back here. So if we look at the price action over here, I keep losing this. I never find it right away. Where is it at? Path. So we could easily just come back down here. Boom. Then squeeze up again. Then again squeeze, pull up, come back down, and then keep moving upwards. So there's a couple things that can go. It is bullish, but there's a lot of resistance along the way, which you should be anticipating. So right now, I think the first thing Ethereum's going to attempt is going back to 1,700, try to play around, and then see if buyers actually do come in. And if they don't come in, we still remain bullish on Ethereum, and it going back here, still having a higher low, and we're still be bullish on the price action. So that's what I think is going to happen in general. We could be having this ascending triangle over here, or it could start to happen over leading to the 1,800. So basically something like this, where we come back, we retest the 1,700, go back up here, have this, get squeezed, lower highs, higher lows, lower higher lows, then kind of squeeze up somewhere around this area. So a bunch of things can happen, and we can still remain bullish on Ethereum. So anyways, I don't want to prolong this too long. Let me know if I missed anything. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you'd like to support us, make sure you check out our Patreon. We have the link in the description. Beware of all these scammers out there. It's a bunch of bots with our channel on it, channel name. So we'll never ask you for any money in the comments. So stay safe, be smart, do your research, keep studying, keep learning, and have a great day.